This podcast is part of the Gonna Geek Network. The opinions expressed may not represent other podcasts or affiliates of Gonna Geek. Check out more podcasts at GonnaGeek.com and get ready because geekness starts in 3, 2, 1.
You have been granted clearance level 10. Stand by for S.H.I.E.L.D. debriefing. All information to be discussed here is classified and may only be discussed among agents of equal or higher security clearance.
And now it's time for your scheduled debriefing. I'm Agent Stargate Pioneer.
I'm Agent Haley.
And I'm Agent Lauren.
Welcome to Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. We're going to be covering Season 1, Episode 20 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The episode is entitled Nothing Personal. What we're a fan-based podcast on the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. television show and the general Marvel Universe because it's almost impossible to decouple one from the other. Just a reminder, you can get us on our website, legendsofshield.com, or our voicemail, 844-THE-BUS-1 or 844-843-2871. How you two ladies doing tonight?
Still working Vegas out of my system.
A little too many of those alcoholic drinks, right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm bitter and sad that I did not get to go to Vegas, but indulge my curiosity. Did anybody get one of those guitar margaritas?
Oh,
The Moscow Mule was the drink of choice.
Okay.
it was, I think, Jay from Gallifrey Public Radio, another podcast on the Gonna Geek Network. I think he had like double digits in a single day.
I was, on my first day there, I was up for 42 hours straight, and I drank for the last 15 of them.
I just don't understand how you were functioning, girl.
Mutant liver.
Oh, are we going to see you on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at some point in time with your mutant liver?
They don't have the right to mutants.
That's right, they don't.
Except technically they have the TV rights, but I don't think they're going to go that route.
They might. Anyway, yes, Haley and I just got back from Vegas, and a couple days ago we saw the episode and detoxing a little bit. Yeah. But it was a good episode. But before we get into it, we have some minor Marvel news. Lauren, did you run into something you want to talk about?
Yeah. See how newsworthy this is a year from now. Marvel is going to be killing off a major character, to wit, Wolverine. And this is not like the previous times that they have killed Wolverine. Totally not, you guys. Or like that time, I guess it was last year or the year before, when they sent him to hell. Anyway, in September, they're going to be publishing Death of Wolverine. It's going to be written by a relative newcomer, Charles Soule, who I looked up some of his previous stuff. He's done some work for DC. He's currently writing Swamp Thing and Red Lanterns and Superman, Wonder Woman. And for Marvel, he wrote several issues of Thunderbolts, at least it looks like an arc or two. And he's currently writing She-Hulk and Inhuman. And the artist is Steve McNiven, who is a really good artist. He drew Civil War, among other things. And so, the art's at least going to be good. We'll see if it sticks. My bet is no.
What's the over-under on the amount of months that he remains dead?
Well,
4?
Let's see. Nightcrawler at this point has been dead for about 4 years. I'm betting he stays dead less time than Nightcrawler has.
I think he stays dead long enough for them to start ramping up for the next movie that Wolverine's in. Whether it's a Wolverine movie or an X-Men movie or whatever. I think,
like 2 years?
Yeah, well, I mean, not the entire 2 years, but until they start filming for it, then they'll, right before they announce that they're going to start doing filming with Hugh Jackman or whoever's playing Wolverine, they will have brought him back in the comics first. That's my thinking. They did the same thing with Spider-Man, too.
Yeah.
We'll see. It's kind of meh when they kill people in Marvel, because I know they all come back, including Agent Sitwell.
Nope, he's dead.
He is not.
He's dead, Jim.
Show me the splat.
Sitwell dead. Victoria Hand is alive, damn it.
Oh, sweet. I got somebody with me, although I did declare her dead last podcast, so.
I think she's a little less dead than...
Yeah, I have a lot of things that you declared that I have to contest. So
All right, go ahead.
I have a list.
Welcome to the SP is Wrong cast.
I will wait until later in the episode to contest this, though.
All right, we'll wait. In the meantime, Haley, do you have something?
We've got ratings, which are still, not where we'd like them to be, but 5.95 million viewers is the adjusted rating. Down a little bit from last week, not too terrible. I'm still hoping to see it continue building to a strong finish at the end of the season.
I'd like to see it crest 6 and possibly get close to 7, but we only have 2 more episodes left, so I don't know how likely that is for it to happen.
I think that if the show gets renewed for a second season, fingers crossed, definitely will, that...
Didn't it?
Given
It did get renewed for a second season.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact,
yes.
not only did Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. get renewed for a second season, but in the off parts, around the holiday season, when they're not going to show new episodes, they're going to throw 13 episodes of Agent Carter.
Oh, I did not know this. I'm behind on the times. This is fantastic. But hopefully the word of mouth about the second half of the season and how really good it's been will help get some numbers up there.
Yeah, that, and they've got to make it available over the summer. It's got to be
too.
on Hulu, Netflix, all the places, so people can watch it and then start season 2.
Since they have that Defenders deal for Netflix, I'm thinking they're going to go there, but they might want to diversify, so I don't know.
Yeah,
well, a lot of times if it hits one, it hits all of them.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it will be on Netflix because a lot of ABC's stuff is already on Netflix, and Marvel does have that deal. Looking at just like ABC's lineup of shows, wherever I think you'll find an ABC show, which is Netflix and I guess Amazon Prime or Hulu. I'm not really sure. I'm pretty much stick to Netflix. That's where I think you'll find the episodes recurring.
Well, those are the big 3 ones right there. Hulu Plus, Amazon Prime, and Netflix. Generally, you can find something on there. On another podcast, I cover the TV show Defiance, and it had been streaming free on sci-fi.com for a while, Skiffy.com. And they just transferred it like 10 days ago as we record this to Amazon Prime. And it wasn't a shock because at the end of the previous season, they said it was going to be on Amazon Prime. It just hadn't made it there yet. And I was wondering where it was or if the deal fell through or something like that, but it made it there. I'm just hoping that they don't wait too long to throw this series on Netflix, or maybe there's a strategic point. What do you two think? Is there a point like maybe 8 weeks out, 6 weeks out, 10 weeks out from second season that they want to throw it out?
I think that with Netflix and stuff like that, I think it's generally right around the time that the DVDs come out is when I've noticed. But for the sake of getting viewership, I don't know. They might rotate some episodes through Hulu, which ABC does work through Hulu. I remember this now because some friends and I were trying to watch Castle, and that was where we had to turn.
So a couple of weeks ago, we did discuss this just for your benefit, Lauren, and we mentioned that series like The Walking Dead, Breaking Bad, even Game of Thrones have thrived because after their first season was done, everybody flocked to it in the off season to get caught up.
Yes, but everyone was pirating Game of Thrones.
Everyone still is pirating Game of Thrones.
Everyone.
And I think HBO loves that, too, for some reason.
It's because it's giving them leverage against the cable companies.
Yeah, of course it does. Silly me. Anyway, we did see an episode this week. Nothing personal. Haley, what's your favorite part?
What was in this episode?
Did you not take 10 pages of copious notes this time?
I've got like 2 pages that I took right before I went to bed.
I see. Are they legible?
A little.
Did the paper actually clunk you on top of the head like your iPad does?
Not this time. I was kind of laughing when they just sent a couple of uniformed cops to arrest Ward.
That was funny. Although it's probably the only thing they had available. Also, I have a major problem with the planes just being allowed to float around. I assume it was LAX, but I don't know where it was. I mean, it's pretty easy to quarantine a plane on the ground.
It does have vertical takeoff.
Yeah, you did fix that, didn't you, Haley?
I got a little bit of work done.
Uh-huh. So, yeah, uniform cops, the planes sequestered on the ground in LAX. Yeah, that was great. Although, what I loved about that particular sequence was that when she was there in the restaurant, she foreshadowed Peterson coming back because she said, "Oh, in this very booth, this is where I saw Mike Peterson." Of course, she was stalling for time, but I didn't even think he was going to be in the episode. And guess what? Less than 2 minutes later, we see him crunching her police car.
I did know he was going to be in the episode because they
You actually read the credits?
No, I had, well, that too. But on Twitter earlier, they'd been saying something about when they meet again, will he be able to throw off his program? Something like that. Something to that effect. So they kind of spoiled it on the official S.H.I.E.L.D. Twitter account.
Yeah, I normally pay attention to Facebook and Twitter, but since we just got back from Vegas, I had a lot of stuff to do. I didn't. So this was a true surprise to me to see Deathlock come out there. So, Lauren, what was your favorite part of the episode?
When Skye actually brings up that Hydra is literally Nazis.
That was awesome.
That was pretty good.
Yes. See, ever since we first saw Captain America, my friends and I pointed out Hydra are literally double Nazis. They're worse than regular Nazis. They are double Nazis because of the salute, you see?
Yeah.
And you never go double Nazi. So, this whole time and we're like, oh, it's literally Nazis. Then finally, yes, she points that out and she's like, you can't see what you're doing. You can't see this is literally, I mean, are you that brainwashed? Did they kind of hide all of this history from you? And Ward's like, no, it's not like that at all. And yeah, it totally
We're good
is.
Nazis.
It totally is.
See, that was the first time I got the sense that Ward was more into Hydra than Garrett.
See, that's the time where right now this episode has me, last episode had me thinking, yeah, Ward is totally Hydra. And this episode has me questioning again, well, is he or is he not like a triple agent?
I have a new Ward theory. I completely
disagree with it.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Hey, it'll probably be proven wrong because I think it was proven wrong in the promo for next week. But anyway, my new Ward theory is that he has been controlled by that same eye technology all along. The explosive eye with the...
I kind of buy that because I was thinking that, Deathlock's talking to him, oh, I got orders. We get orders. We have to follow them. And it seemed like I know you're in the same situation I am kind of conversation.
But then at the end, they did the promo for next week's episode, and just I won't get into it. I won't spoil it for anybody that doesn't want to be spoiled on it. But in watching that scene that they showed, it was just a brief, real scene. It was like, oh, well, I guess it's a little more than that.
See, my whole thing with Ward is, okay, first of all, no matter what, he's never trustworthy again, in my opinion. Like the whole bit about at the end of him, trying to be like, but I did this for you. And even if it turns out that he's been a triple agent the whole time and, he's really working for the good guys, I don't know about y'all, but if somebody had been lying to me under that deep cover and I had gone through all the same stuff that Skye had, I would never be able to trust somebody again, much less, enter into some sort of romantic relationship. So I think that just shot down anything plausible there.
Her exact words were, I'm going to throw up. And my thoughts were, me too.
Yeah, like I really liked that because, usually the trope is, oh, well, true love can save them and I can trust everyone. I can't trust anyone except for you. And I've seen this so many times in other, literature and comics and books and movies and TV. And it's always seemed just very implausible to me because if somebody betrays your trust that thoroughly, then how are you going to trust them again? And this is it exactly. She's just having that very visceral reaction of, I can't believe you actually think that's going to work.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the very beginning with the whole him trying to like separate her from everyone and he's being like a creepy boyfriend. I started thinking, I wonder if I would find this as creepy if I didn't have, the audience eye view of Ward. And I started thinking, yeah, I think I would because that's just, it's weird behavior and especially from him.
Yeah, that's what I noticed in the middle of the episode, the middle half of the episode anyway. I so felt that whole interaction between the two of them go so CW, so 90210, like the creepy boyfriend that, he's doing everything wrong, but he just loves the girl and he just wants her and he's making all the wrong moves and he just doesn't see it. And that was my opinion of the whole thing.
He's also smiling a lot more than he has in the entire series up to this point, and it's freaking me out.
Yeah. Like, I remember just before the big reveal with Agent Hand and all, I remember finally thinking, Ward is finally becoming an interesting character. And then all that happened, and I'm like, okay, now Ward's 300 times more interesting, but like, wow. And now Ward is kind of genuinely scaring me.
Yeah, I'd smile too if I got zapped by that Deathlock zapper.
Which, by the way, knowing that that's what those things from the movie did, kudos to Natasha for using one of those things to stop her own heart in Cap 2.
I think there's a difference. I think the weaponized version on Deathlock were bigger, more powerful, or cruder and more powerful. I don't think they were the same thing.
The ones that Natasha were using looked to be about the same size to me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like they were kind of like a little bigger than like a dollar coin.
I thought they were like button size. I guess I need to see the movie again. Size does matter, right?
Totally.
So my favorite part of the episode, it was going to be the Lola scene, which I think they could have done that better in the CGI. I think this close to the end of the series and this close to the movie, I think they could have done better with the whole effects on it. But the fact that they used Lola like that, I mean, we all knew it was going to happen at some point in time. I didn't expect the machine guns, though. That was cool. But my favorite part is the bumper at the end and Coulson's reaction.
Oh, yes.
Huh. It's like, I guess it was me. Although, okay, girls, I have a question here. So Coulson was behind the T.A.H.I.T.I project, but he wasn't obviously there when it was utilized. I mean, he had already tendered his resignation, whatever. There was somebody in charge of it that Fury had to go to in order to get it done. There was somebody else working the facility. It wasn't Coulson. He was dead. So who was it? That the question is still out there. Or am I reading too deep into it?
No, I don't think you're reading too deep into it at all.
Yeah, somebody else had to be doing something.
Yeah, so it's still not a solved mystery.
Yeah, I don't think it was character who I can't remember his name, so I'm still calling him Shepherd Book. I think he was just working for the project. I don't think he was in charge.
Yeah, he was brought in. I mean, that was his whole interview with Coulson in the car when Coulson was asking him questions. He basically said I was brought in later. So if you go to the beginning of the episode with the May Hill conversation, Hill asked May, what does he know? And she went over what he knew. And when Hill interacted with Coulson, she didn't go beyond those bounds. So it makes me think that, again, there is something bigger there. And then also, onto another subject, another theory that I have. The reason why May found the video was in Coulson's grave. I wonder what's in Fury's grave. I still think it's a communications array, but I wonder what's in his grave.
Okay, my note for the beginning of that scene, May digs like a Winchester.
Yeah, it was like a perfect hole, too.
I was expecting when she climbed out, I will admit the first thing I was thinking when she was about to talk was, may I please have a glass of water from Kill Bill?
The girl doesn't sweat at all. She just came out of there digging for however long it takes to dig a grave in leather, black during the day, and not an ounce of sweat on it. She did look a little dirty, though, didn't she? Or
little bit of dirt, way less than I would have expected.
Yeah, as someone who has dug a lot of holes.
Yes, Haley, the expert here, what do you have to say?
It takes way longer to dig a hole than you think, and way more of that dirt is going to get on you.
It did look like a nice, neat little thing, didn't it? But I like how they keep on going back to it looks like the same cemetery that they had in Captain America. I almost said Avengers. In Captain America, the Winter Soldier. It looks like the same area, at least.
Well, it's supposed to be just kind of a national
cemetery?
Yeah, that.
Well, where the Triskelion was, if you take a look at the layout of DC, it was across the river from like the Jefferson Memorial and stuff. If you take a look at the map of DC, it's on the west side of the Potomac, and that is where Arlington Cemetery is, where the Triskelion was. We also know that Hill definitely has knowledge of more secret bases because she told Coulson not to tell them where all the secret bases were. So I don't know if that's just the ones we know of, like the treehouse and such like that, but there's a lot of information being relayed to us in this episode.
Yeah, and I'm wondering how much the lead up is going to bring us towards Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, it is my hope that, especially given where the T.A.H.I.T.I serum comes from, that we'll find out that the agent who is in charge was Abigail Brand, and that would be a tie-in to Guardians of the Galaxy.
As somebody that is not familiar with the comics, please tell me.
Abigail Brand in the comics is a half-alien, half-human agent of S.H.I.E.L.D, which is kind of S.H.I.E.L.D's outer
Galactic
space
version, yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of a liaison between S.H.I.E.L.D. and space. And she's awesome. I love her.
She as good as Agent 13?
Yes, she's
Oh,
better.
way better. She's got green hair.
Yes, she's got green hair and green sunglasses. And I'm trying to figure out how to put this in a PG-friendly way. She takes nothing from nobody.
She's very seductive?
No.
She takes no things from nobody.
She takes no things from nobody.
All right. So she puts Natasha to shame.
I'd say they're maybe not equals, but they're both very, awesome in a similar way. Abigail is not spy material, but she's
kind of a
definitely
blunt
somebody.
instrument.
Yeah, she's very much a blunt instrument, whereas Natasha's a scalpel.
Like Thor. His style, at least.
Not really. She's more of a blunt instrument in charge of things.
Oh, okay. Kind of like hand, maybe? A little hand action?
More competent. And don't get me wrong, I love Victoria Hand, but I love Abigail Brand more.
If you want to get a good look into Abigail Brand, watch the Astonishing X-Men motion comic.
Yeah. Or read the comics, but
if you want to read.
The motion comic on Netflix is a decent way to get a look at her.
Okay. And then I mentioned Natasha Romanoff, and we get another reference of her in the episode, but I don't think in this particular case it was a heavy-handed comparison to Ward. I think it was just a name drop.
Yeah, it was. I'm trying to find in my notes where it was.
It was when they were in the planes, and he was trash-talking Hill.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
if Fury wanted eye candy around.
Oh, yeah. That, I think, was a really desperate move on Ward's part, and maybe kind of trying to hint that, because, you'd expect somebody of his, evil spy caliber to go for better threats than poke, poke, you're a girl, you sleep with guys, poke, poke. But I'm wondering if that's supposed to be some kind of, weird spy hint to Maria, but then again, he could just be being an awful person, so I really don't know.
I'm pretty sure he's just being an awful person. He's just almost like a teenage angst sort of thing in this episode. That's what I was getting at before. I just got that vibe from him. And the whole thing about his fascination with Skye, it's gone there, and I don't think he's playing. I think he really has misguided feelings for her, and she's going to have nothing of it. Although, why did she save him? I would have just let the dude die.
She's just not hardcore enough yet.
I guess. She sees the good in everybody, even an evil Nazi Ward.
I don't even think it's that she sees the good in him. She just isn't prepared to let him die yet. And the plot demands that he stay alive to the finale.
Speed of the plot. I guess.
So I have a new theory.
Yeah?
Given how much everyone was like, when Fitz and Simmons were talking, this came to me. So this is a Whedon show.
Which Fitz and Simmons scene?
At the very end at the pool.
Oh.
I think Ward is going to kill Simmons. And that's going to be what finally pushes Skye to kill Ward.
Do you think that'll put Fitz in the loony bin?
I don't know, but it's like they introduce this new guy, Trip, and the first thing he does is be friends with Simmons. So you've created a situation where Simmons is everyone's favorite.
My poor science babies.
She must die.
Yeah. She's so competent, too, as she's describing. I mean, it's affecting her, but as she's describing, she's doing the autopsy report on Agent Cohen. And she's just like, she doesn't want to say it, but she's saying it very professionally, very accurately, and you just get the feeling that she's one of the more competent people in the group at that point in time.
Yeah, she's gone from this, cute, enthusiastic little science nerd to, she's seen some stuff, and she's still there getting her job done, and she's not as enthusiastic anymore. And my poor little science babies. Oh, don't let anything happen to them.
And she was going to make pancakes.
I'm going to be so angry if anything happens to Fitzsimmons.
And she was going to make pancakes, too. Now, I'd mentioned toilet paper, but pancakes, that was pretty good. Going to the storage room for pancake mix.
Yep.
I was wrong about the drive, though.
Could you say that again?
I was... thought I'd cut out, but no, you wanted to hear it again. Okay. I was wrong about the hard drive. Skye did not hide it in the picture window. I think it was much creepier what she did with the knife and how she etched it in there and everything. It just looked scary.
It looked like something out of a horror movie. I liked that.
Yeah.
And poor Fitz found it.
I mean, the episode kind of started that way. You've got Simmons finding the body and then Fitz finding the note etched into the wall.
Mm-hmm. Okay, question. So Koenig already told Coulson that Fury is not dead. Why did Hill tell Coulson that Fury is dead?
No, I think she said he's gone, like unavailable.
Oh, I'll have to watch it again.
And she may not be aware that Coulson knows that Fury's alive.
Well, I suppose. I would imagine anybody that was at that facility would know. I mean, Koenig basically rattled off the list of people that were authorized to know, and Coulson was one of them.
But no, I think she was more making a point, like, we can't get the band back together. Fury's got to be off doing his own thing, so...
Do you think she's still worried that Coulson has been reprogrammed by Hydra?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and as we mentioned before, we still don't know who was in charge of the reprogramming, so we just don't know that. Okay, another observation. Tony Stark is a data fiend, right? He just loves to sift through anything S.H.I.E.L.D. All the data is out there. We talked about this before when it came to Phil's cellist, but Tony's a different entity. He's going to look through all that stuff. He's going to know Coulson's alive.
See, I don't think the Coulson info was on with the main S.H.I.E.L.D. data, was it?
I don't know.
Even if it was level 10, it's all out there. Everything is. There are no more secrets. Well, I can't say that because Providence wasn't in there. Rats. I'm wrong.
Yeah, see, you don't... If it's out there, yes, he knows. But if it's not out there, dramatic tension. We know... I'm pretty sure we know that Coulson won't be in Avengers 2.
I don't know about that.
I'm pretty sure I heard that he wouldn't be.
All right. That would go along the information that we heard at PaleoFest, that it's mainly a time issue because they're filming the TV show constantly and they just don't have time to go back and forth between the two. That's what Jeff Loeb was referring to anyway. The executive producer of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and also pretty much the man to speak for Marvel in such things.
Even if I will never forgive him for Ultimatum. Yeah.
Okay. Do we have to go down a dark path right now?
What got me back into reading Marvel comics was the Ultimates line, and he wrote the event that kind of destroyed the comics. And yeah, they kind of came back from that in recent years, but I was furious at Ultimatum, and I thought that they ruined the comics, and the only ones that I bought after that were Ultimate Spider-Man, and I have never forgiven him.
I see. Some deep-rooted emotions going there. What do you think, Haley?
I can't ever remember him.
He also wrote The Long Halloween, and I think
I don't
the
think
current
he wrote
run
anything,
on Nova.
He didn't write anything before 1969, so I haven't read any of his stuff. Oh, but I did read my first 1970 comic.
Ooh, which one was it?
It was a Submariner. Pretty meh.
What, not there for scantily clad men flying around in man panties?
Oh, I mean, that part doesn't bother me. But it's, every single one of his is like, oh, misunderstanding between him and the humans. Now they're going to fight. Nuclear testing right above Atlantis. Whatever.
Gamma radiation, maybe? It's Marvel. It's got to be gamma radiation.
There's always gamma radiation.
They've got tons of different kinds of radiation that no one understands. It's fine.
Tons of ways to abolish the human race.
I was talking to some other people that are reading this, these old comics like I am, and they feel like there should be like tags on them, like radiation does not work that way.
It's seriously, tell me about it.
Magnets do not work that way.
I'm reading right now the first iteration of X-Force, the first time Jean came back. Oh my! First of all, it's so 80s. Everybody's dressed like they're in Dynasty, and just anytime anyone brings up anything remotely involved with science or genetics, I'm just like, oh, it doesn't work that way, but I'm going to keep reading.
It's science! Being a rocket scientist, I kind of am a stickler on the whole science thing, which, I wonder why I'm such a big sci-fi fan, because I have to go into the disbelief mode in order to say any of this.
That was one of the reasons my husband had such a hard time with S.H.I.E.L.D. in the beginning, because anytime they would open their mouths on anything, science or physics related, he'd just start yelling, it doesn't work that way.
Talking about S.H.I.E.L.D., did you love Ward taking out the spray paint can on
they're finally getting rid of some of the S.H.I.E.L.D. logos. And
I noticed again in the window, or the glass thing in the conference room, where there was a half a S.H.I.E.L.D. logo still there. Garrett wasn't in here, so we didn't see the S.H.I.E.L.D. coffee cup, which I'm sure he still has. It's probably just the right size. He just likes how it feels in his hand, the right weight and everything.
Garrett
holds just the right amount of coffee.
Yeah. When you're, the clairvoyant and evil Hydra overlord, you need to have your caffeine, I would imagine. So what do you think Skye left for Hydra on the drive? I mean, obviously it's a virus of some sort, but what do you think it does?
I know what I think, but I can't say it in polite company. If it was me, let's just say if it was me, that's what I would have done.
You throw a bunch of porn on there? Is that what you're saying?
Some of the very worst examples of things that I've seen in my many years on the internet. And yeah, just never-ending repeats of things that can never be unseen.
Yeah, I've gone through a couple of those. Yuck. So you just think she's trying to torture them mentally?
I don't think that's what's going to happen on the show. But
It's just
if this was real life, that is what you would do.
Yeah, I see.
But because this is a family-friendly TV show, my guess is she's probably changed it to useless information.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's probably going to like take over all the screens and stuff in whatever Hydra bunker and be playing some obnoxious song.
I think it's going to be like Independence Day 4. And it's just going to be this Skull and Bones thing. And then Will Smith is going to come in and say, "Peace!" You're going to launch the missile right into the headquarters of Hydra. No Independence Day fans here? Wasted. That was good stuff.
Will Smith's probably not in the
that
TV
movie.
budget.
I love that movie, but no, it's probably not going to happen.
After his movie flops lately, he might be.
He still has all the monies.
All the monies. Yes, all the monies. Just like Vegas has all our monies.
No, they only got $16 for me.
Oh, wow. Lots of self-restraint on your part.
It's not that great because everyone except me won money.
Ah.
I didn't play. The only way to win is not to play the game.
I came back down. We'd gone up to the hotel room to like get wallets or something, and two of our people were sitting at slot machines. One of them was up 120, the other was up like 95.
Oh.
That never happens.
Jerks. They know who they are.
One time I won $20. That was my big thing. Actually, no, I did manage to win like $40 once on, what was it? Roulette?
Roulette. Yes, the fun. You know, I meant to place a bet on Red 5. And I never did, so I didn't win. I didn't lose either, but I didn't win. Red 5 would have been cool. And for those of you that don't know, that is Luke Skywalker's call sign in the original Star Wars. So there you go. All right, Hill on the phone with Pepper Potts at the beginning. That was cool.
I loved that.
That was awesome.
And then name-dropping Man-Thing.
Yes, I screamed. Who or what is a Man-Thing?
And then after the conversation got over with, between May and Hill, and the cops actually showed up, or FBI agents or whatever, Hill's just screaming at him, 3 minutes, 20 seconds. If you were my agents, you'd be fired.
I love Hill.
It's awesome. I hope we see more of her.
Yes.
I'm assuming Stark's privatizing espionage now, so I'm assuming he's got his own acronym, STARK.
Yeah, I guess. You think he'll put that on the side of the building again?
See, if it was me again, and I had the chance to privatize an espionage force, I'd name them something ridiculous like Poop.
Like what was Skye's real name? Poots?
Yes, something in Poots.
Yeah.
It's like Mary Sue Poots or something.
So let's just go with Skye. Yeah.
Oh, so May was acting a little SP-ish. Hill was saying
SP-ish?
No. Yep, SP-ish. Hill was saying Fury's dead, and May was like, "Show me a body."
Woohoo, Ming!
Yeah, she is genre savvy.
Way to have my back, Ming.
Yeah, what was some show that I would like to watch all the time? Where like nobody's ever dead unless you see a body, and even then it's a 50-50 shot. Was it Farscape? I don't think it.
Maybe I don't know.
it was
It's something
Farscape.
I've seen too.
On last week's Legends newscast, Sean said that Farscape was one of the top 3 series ever.
Yes.
Ever.
It's really good.
I've got the full set of DVDs literally 2 feet right behind me, and I need to find time to watch it. It's such
Yes,
good
you do.
stuff.
You really
I
got to
just
push
got
through the first episodes.
Yeah, the first couple of episodes are kind of rough. But yeah, I have the Starburst editions, and then I just shelled out for the Blu-rays because it's the 15th anniversary, and it's a fantastic show. It rips my heart out and stomps on it every time, and I love it.
They just goad the movie, too, the Farscape movie.
Yes.
They haven't casted anyone yet, or at least we haven't heard any casting news yet, but yeah.
Yeah, according to Rockney O'Bannon, it's supposed to take place after the comics that he was involved in writing. So I'm looking forward to that.
And of course, he is the executive producer on Defiance, another show that I cover on Voices of Defiance. And you can find that at voicesofdefiance.com.
Shameless plug.
There you go. So, okay, talking about educating people, do we really have to go over the airplane safety seatbelt thing with Skye? First of all, take the parachute with you. Put it on your lap. Second of all, put the seatbelt on. I mean, you know you're going to go backwards anyway. Whole flying out of the car thing. Bah.
In all fairness,
So
I
now
don't
that
think
S.H.I.E.L.D.'s
I would have done
gone.
better in her place.
Yeah. So now that S.H.I.E.L.D.'s gone, who's going to fix Lola?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Tony Stark.
Well, it is Stark technology,
Yeah.
but they have to get it to him. And Coulson can't deliver it himself because Tony thinks he's dead.
Hill can. Hill works for him now.
Yeah, it's true.
Just be like, oh, so hey, I totally, stole company property before they dismantled S.H.I.E.L.D. And Tony will be like, oh, that's awesome. I'll totally fix this for you. Rock on. Damn the man.
He'll also pimp it out.
Yeah. And then, you just get it back to Coulson and it's better.
It definitely needs a new windshield in addition to the propulsion system. And probably a few new bullets, too. Something survived this episode, though, which was shocking to me without going awry. Talbot's mustache. It stayed on the entire time.
It was. I think it was a
Unfortunate
little
hair.
bit straighter than last time, but still not quite right.
He was actually moving this time, though, and it stayed on as he was moving
So
around.
it was an illusion that it was straight.
Y'all have covered the fact that Adrian Pasdar is the voice of Tony Stark in the animated Marvel Universe right now, right?
Oh,
I
no,
don't
I
know if
didn't.
I mentioned it or not.
Okay, no, ever since, in the Iron Man anime and in Avengers Assemble and Ultimate Spider-Man, he's the voice of Tony Stark. And I guess in Lego Marvel Superheroes, yeah, he's the voice of Tony Stark. So the fact that he's on the show yelling at S.H.I.E.L.D. is, I laugh every time he's on screen. And it's not just because of that truly unfortunate hair.
Hair or mustache?
Both.
Yeah,
Mustache is hair.
Isn't that his
Allegedly.
normal hair?
I
No.
would hope not.
No, it's not. I mean, his hair on Heroes was much better. This is like, I don't know. I can't even describe his hair here. It's just awful. I feel very bad for like the people who have to interact with him on a daily basis and
Yeah,
look
they
at
have to keep a straight face while shooting a scene with him.
it. Yeah.
Oh, one of my favorite lines of the episode. Are you going to shoot me if I come out? Because then I won't come out.
I just continue to love Coulson.
He's pretty awesome.
He's got a few of those lines I'm going to have a major freak out session later, which, we didn't see.
Presumably it happened off camera.
I think the was his major freak out.
That is pretty scary for Coulson. Just the singular, After a whole season of chasing down T.A.H.I.T.I, finally getting to it, finally finding out that he was in charge of the development of the program. I'm like, that sucks. At least he wasn't like the evil guy in charge of the program. Like, oh yeah, we got it to work. It was great. He was like, let me be clear. We need to shut this down and bury it.
So many problems. So many problems.
So it's basically a miracle that he turned out the way he did.
Yeah.
But for how long?
And there were other test subjects.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true.
Again, stuff that I want answered.
So we didn't have you on when we were talking about this, Lauren. What do you think was in the tank?
Oh, I know what was in the tank.
Oh, okay.
Like the producers of the show and they told you, or
I saw it confirmed elsewhere. It's a Kree.
Oh, that's what I thought. I'm so right.
I mean, it was basically alluded to several times, so I'm not surprised.
The first time I was watching it, I was like, okay, blue thing in tank. What's blue? I mean, it's not dark elves anymore because now those aren't blue. Kree is the next obvious choice. Kree fits in with Guardians of the Galaxy. It has to be a Kree. And it's too small to be a Jotun. So then when Sif shows up like an episode later, and she's like, blah, 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 Kree, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, she mentioned Kree too. They know they're doing it. And then, of course, there are several Kree characters in Guardians of the Galaxy. So I think that this whole thing is leading up to Guardians of the
Marvel.
Galaxy.
Oh, but you don't know for
And
sure.
yes, please, 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 Carol Danvers. Like, I'm thrilled that we're finally getting Jessica Jones with the Defenders. Like, she's my favorite character. You don't even know. But Carol Danvers, oh my God.
So you don't know for sure. It wasn't confirmed. for sure.
Let me pull it up. Kree confirmed. Chloe Bennett confirms it.
Oh no, that was taken back. She confirmed it at PaleyFest, basically in the
Yeah.
The interview before.
the interview line, and then clarified it and said, no, I honestly don't know who it is. That's just what my best guess is. And they told me, no, it was not. Although, I mean, they could just be covering up for it. But
Yeah, looking at it, I'm positive it's a Kree.
That was my thought too. Like,
yeah, Jonah Lobster is still on the Atlantean thing.
Yeah, that was I was like, well, it could be an Atlantean because they have hinted at Namor before with the map in the Avengers. But I really, really think it's a Kree.
I do too.
I want to get back to the whole Providence-based thing. And the fact that Hill was so into turning Coulson and his team in until Coulson mentions, yeah, Ward, he's Hydra. And then her whole demeanor instantly changed. It was awesome.
Nobody lies to me and I don't know about it.
She's like, I personally vetted him. What the heck?
She's personally offended that he dared to lie better than she could tell.
Well, he obviously made it through the lie detector chair of death.
Just
Yeah, by
barely,
getting
it
that
seems.
splinter under his thumbnail.
Yeah, I still think Koenig, I mean, as much as I hate that he died, he kind of deserved it for not taking Ward on a little bit more, but I guess he's playing too much Call of Duty or something. His mind was warped at the time. I know I'm jumping around here and I'm going by my notes, but the whole scene with Skye and Garrett, I know we talked about it at the very beginning of the cast, when she was talking, not Skye and Garrett, but Skye and Ward, when she's talking to Ward in the booth and said, if Garrett was right here, what would you say to him? And then goes on that little rant with Nazi
yeah.
stuff.
That was so good.
That was awesome. And he didn't pick up on the fact that she was talking about him until at the very end when she turned around the computer and said, I turned you in. So that was awesome.
I think he was starting to pick up on it because you could hear the emotion leaking in through her voice, and she's starting to tear up. And like, seriously, that right there was the most I've ever liked Skye on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, she definitely has played it well. I mean, in the plane, when she's trying to get away from him, he's done some really nasty stuff. And yeah, Skye's growing on me. She's not the little eye candy that she was at the beginning of the show. When Hill was going back to Providence, or no, back to the hotel at the end, the Moon Hotel or whatever it was, when Hill's talking to Coulson about, no, this is all done. There's no official anything. We're not getting the band back together. This is not, don't think you're on an officially sanctioned mission to go get Garrett and Ward. I know that you have to, but after that, just let everybody go. I have mixed feelings about that because she knows how bad of people they really are. She knows that the best people to take them down would probably be Coulson's team with as much S.H.I.E.L.D. backup as they could muster that there is. Agent 13, Cap, and Fury basically is it that I know of at this point in time. What do you guys think about that? I have mixed feelings because I think she should have sanctioned it.
I think it's completely understandable for her because right now she's feeling probably the most defeated that she's ever felt in her life. Like, everything is crumbling around her. Fury's gone. Coulson's team has, to our mind, proven themselves over and over again. But to her point of view, they were just betrayed again by one of their own. So it's just another example of you can't trust anyone and building on a extremely unsound foundation. Yeah, I can completely see why she's not sanctioning it because she's like, well, this is not going to turn out well because since when has it turned out well up until now?
Yeah. Yeah. My mind goes back to the Bruce Banner, tech from last episode. Yeah, Bruce Banner, it can't go wrong. Yeah, right.
And as bad as Garrett and his guys are, there's other Hydra groups and Hydra strongholds all over the world that have to be taken care of.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't necessarily have a lot of resources that she even could allot to him if she wanted to.
Yeah, but she could at least say, hey, look, report back to me, or I have your back, or whatever. We'll see how it turns out. I don't know. I mean, I guess we're getting to the end of the season. Where do you think they're going to be next season? Or do you want to wait for a couple episodes before you offer your opinions on that?
I'd rather wait because, as we've seen, stuff can change really quickly.
Yep.
Yeah. And it could have a lot to do with what happens in Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's true. They haven't talked about any crossovers or anything like that with S.H.I.E.L.D. with Guardians of the Galaxy, though. Not that I've seen. Have you guys seen anything on that?
No, but the movie's still a few months out at this point.
So they could wait for S.H.I.E.L.D. to be over and then kind of pump. The movie comes out and then pump the Return of S.H.I.E.L.D. in the fall. That it ties into whatever happens in Guardians. I guess that kind of would have to happen because whatever happens in Guardians basically leads directly into Avengers 2, right? And I would think that Avengers 2 would have some sort of direct correlation to S.H.I.E.L.D.
I don't know for sure. Because when they made Guardians of the Galaxy and when they started making Avengers, they didn't know for sure that S.H.I.E.L.D. was going to have a second season.
That's true.
Yeah, I would think Guardians of the Galaxy would be pretty standalone as far as...
Nothing in the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been truly standalone.
I know, but in as much as anything has been standalone so far.
I'll give you that one. All right. Well, I'm basically out of my notes. You guys got anything?
So when they first opened Koenig's desk, my first thought was, is that a sonic screwdriver in there? And then I realized the reason they were lingering on the desk was that so Coulson could realize there was a gun in there and pull it out. I was totally thinking of the wrong thing.
Do you think he knew it was a Nightingale?
I don't think he would have cared at that point.
Just lucky that it was, I guess, for him.
Oh, yeah.
Haley?
I don't have anything else.
Okay.
Also, Oh, I remember one last thing. With the green screen flying car.
Yes.
I was watching it and I was like, this is reminding me of something. And then it hit me.
It's
the
when
end
Iron
of
Man
Grease.
landed. Oh.
It's what?
The end of Grease.
Oh. Yeah. The whole... When they finally park there on the street in front of whatever that is there, and her hair is all every which way.
Yeah, it was just like less singing, more shooting.
That was awesome. It could have been done a lot better, but it was still awesome. I mean, like to see Lola being used, and I'm glad they at least got Lola back. Oh, hey, before we go, we got a voicemail, and you guys want to listen to it?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
We actually got it while we're recording, so this is live, folks. We're going to listen to it, and then we'll respond to it. All right.
Hello, Agent. This is Starsaber, and I've got some thoughts on nothing personal. Well, first off, I had kind of forgotten the fact that Deathlock still had all of Mike Peterson's memories and his personality and everything. I had kind of thought he was brainwashed, but this episode reminded me that he isn't, which feeds into my first theory that he is going to be the one to kill Garrett in the season finale. I think that would be appropriate given how much Garrett has, ruined his life. Another thing I'm wondering about, especially after his little freak out about whether it was Ward or not who killed Koenig, was that sometime in the near future, Fitz is going to snap a little bit. Not sure whether he'll end up going evil or... Heck, Joss Whedon's involved in the show. Maybe Simmons will die and that'll make him build up some kind of high-tech weaponry of his own and go superhero on him. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Hey, thanks, Adam, very much for the voicemail. Really appreciate it. For those of you out there, we do have a toll-free voicemail line, 844-843-2871. So thank you very much. You covered some of the points that we talked about, although we didn't cover the whole Deathlock killing Garrett at the end of the season. What do you guys think of that?
I think it'd be fitting.
Yeah, that would work.
Do you think Deathlock's going to kill Ward too, or you think Skye's going to kill Ward?
I think Skye's going to kill Ward.
I think Ward might live.
A dissenter. All right. Well, we'll see what happens. And then we did go over the whole Fitz freaking out at the end as well. So, yeah, I think, Adam, we're right there with you. Thank you very much for the voicemail, and keep them coming. And you know what time you called. So just call, an hour and a half before you did, and we'll get it at the beginning of the podcast next time. All right. If you guys are out, then, hey, we only have 2 episodes left of Season 1. And we're excited to take it to the end. It looks like it's going to get better and better. Next week, we will be talking some Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode 21, Ragtag. You know what's the first thing I thought of when I saw that title, Ragtag? The Ragtag Fleet, BSG.
Yeah.
So, all right. Go to legendsofshield.com. You can find all of our contact information at the top right-hand side of the page. You can contact us on the voicemail, 844-THE-BUS-1 or 844-843-2871. So we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. If you want to leave us feedback, go to gonnageek.com and you will find all of our contact information and other shows. You can also visit legendsofshield.com where you'll find our complete archive of podcasts. The music heard on this podcast is by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at incompetech.com. The opinions heard on this podcast are those of the individual host and do not represent Legends, Stream, or Gonna Geek. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is the property of the Disney Corporation. No infringement is intended.